Hi, I'm Jill Maurer. Welcome to my channel. On my channel, I talk about all aspects of design, and today I'm talking about Wikitribune and how its designer, Jimmy Wales, may just change the face of news. Before we can understand the concept of why Wikitribune is so valuable, we have to kind of understand how we got here. So in the beginning, a newscaster would just state the news. You can kind of hear their voice in your head, you know, today and da-da-da, this happened and this happened and this happened, and that's how it was. There was no opinion or even reaction by the newscaster to the news. In fact, it's one of the reasons that Walter Cronkite, when he announced the death, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, why it was so moving, because his job was to give us the news and not react to it, and yet even he, who was so known for his stoicism in reporting the news, had to wipe away a tear. Then as time went on, it became important for people to be first with the news. So even when we were back in the day and we had 3 channels, you'd be watching TV and it would say breaking news, and somebody would come in and state the facts. The good part of the design was that we were getting news fast, but the flaw in the design was that the rush to get there fastest caused some mistakes. So, you know, a newspaper in a rush to print would state that the wrong candidate won. Sometimes on television they would announce that somebody had passed away, when in fact they had been shot but had not passed away, and they had to retract that. These were very embarrassing things for the news agencies at that time. So no one is infallible. We make mistakes, but the goal was to not state things that were not true. What happens next is that cable television happens, and this was a crazy thing. We went from having 3 channels, really 4, because it was ABC, CBS, NBC, and also PBS. That was our entire world of television, to having cable. And now we had, I don't know, it was 50 or 100. It was a crazy number of channels. And people needed to fill space. That's a lot of space to fill. When I was a child, the ABC, CBS, and NBC, they didn't even run 24 hours a day. Certainly PBS didn't either. Anybody my age knows there's this rainbow thing that comes on your TV, which means they're just not doing TV right now. They'll do TV later. It wasn't this 24-hour barrage of television. The good news about having all of these channels was that you had a lot more choice about what you could watch, and you could even watch things that felt a lot more catered to you. So instead of watching just the standard television shows, there was a whole channel about houses, and a whole channel about food, and a whole channel now about news. But in an effort to get more ratings and to get more people watching and to get more interesting, people started commenting or having their opinion on the news. So instead of saying faction A is at war with faction B, they would say the evil faction A is at war with the angelic faction B. And that's where it began. So now they start inserting their opinions. And what happens after that is, instead of 100 channels, there are now 1,000 channels. So there are a lot of different news channels. And these news channels are all competing for your attention. And what they're doing, they moved from giving you the news to entertaining you. So they're looking for the most salacious news, and they're looking for the way to give you that news in the most sensational way they can. People have become so opinionated and so salacious and so into making sure that you have their opinion, and that you're really into it, and you want to watch the whole show, and you want to turn on the TV and watch the news, even though there is nothing going on but people fighting. Right? And so what happens then is you can't just get the news. You have to choose, am I going to take this opinion or am I going to take this opinion? Even if you sit there and you go, I know it's all slanted, so I'm going to watch both to try to get the truth, it's still not there. It's just a big mess. You cannot figure out what is really happening, and you don't have the room to formulate your own opinion. So where do we go from here? How does a sane person figure out what the facts are? Where do you go, and how do you get information that is updated and that is factual? Well, Jimmy Wales is offering a design solution. What he is saying is that on his site, articles will be written by professional journalists, and they will be up for debate from the very beginning. So not the opinions, it'll be facts. So if you see a fact that is not accurate, you can state your case and give your evidence, and if it is deemed that that is the actual fact, it will be adjusted. So the articles will be living articles that are adjusted. It'll be documented when they're adjusted and why they were adjusted, and as things are updated. So for example, if there's an earthquake and it caused, I don't know, X million dollars of damage and now it's $1 billion, that can be updated as new information comes in. So there are several elements to this design that have me thinking that this will work. This looks like great design. One is that there are not going to be advertisements. It's subscription based. So there's no agenda to try to get more people watching right now to get those ad dollars coming in. The second thing is that each article is a living article and it can be updated. And that means that it can be corrected. And the third thing, and probably the most important thing, is that it can be corrected by everybody or anybody. No matter your slant, no matter your angle, no matter your perspective, you can look at it, and if you think it isn't factual, you can present your case. And that is important. It brings us together to come up with what really happened here. Let's work together to figure out what is the true story. Some people might not trust this because it's Wikipedia and that there are too many people involved and that it can't be accurate because too many people are involved, and some people may try to inject false information in there. Well, Wikipedia, while it is not perfect, there have been some mistakes on Wikipedia. It is actually pretty well known to be the most factual reference material of everything going on, more factual than any encyclopedia that has been published, because it is a living document that can be changed. If you say something crazy like, I don't know, Johnny Depp just landed on Neptune, somebody's going to fix that pretty quickly. So will it be absolutely 100% perfect? No, because we're humans, but it's going to be as close as we humans can get. I do think it is an interesting design, and I am so hopeful that it works. I'm really hopeful that we can work together to create a source that really just does tell us what the news is. What do you think? Have you heard about this? Had you not heard about this? And tell me what you think about news agencies in general and what you think about this idea of Wikitribune. I upload videos every week, always about design, and I hope you'll join me. See you next week.